Hi, this is Kristi Gabrielse, and you are learning it from a local. Today, we are going to explore the secrets of Washington Park and explore two new neighborhoods, that of Island View and Rockridge. Very quickly, before we get started, I do want to tell you about my new Anacortes relocation guide. So while you are clicking down below at the subscribe button and the like button, go ahead and click on the link and you can order my free Anacortes relocation guide. Now, without further ado, let's talk about 7 or more secrets of Washington Park. Washington Park is located on the entire west side peninsula of Fidalgo Island. The loop is about 2.5 miles around, and the park is about 220 acres, mostly wooded, but we have the first secret, and that's the beach. And I know you're thinking, Kristi, what do you mean the beach is secret? Well, to be honest with you, when you first go into the park, you go straight to the loop road, or at least that's where I always drove my visitors, so that you could drive around the loop and enjoy that. And that meant that we were missing the very first turnoff that goes out to the beach, and the boat ramp and the group picnic area is over there. There's a big separate parking lot for all of that. And the picnic area has also children's swing sets and things like that. It's a beautiful area. Here we're taking a little tour around there. The beach is pretty much rocky, but it's as close to a sandy beach as you're going to get on this side of the island. There are signs out there that say cold water kills. That's pretty ominous, but we don't swim in the water here except in the very height of summer. Sometimes you see people going in. We do have lakes that are a little bit warmer for swimming. Secret number 2 are the rocks and tide pools. Along the first part of the loop road, there are several places where you can pull out and walk out onto what's called Green Point. And the area is a grassy field, and then you can go down to the rocks, especially at low tide. Knowing the tide times along here is very important. I do want to read this actually from Atlas Obscura. On the edge of this small piece of Washington Park is a section of the Earth's mantle that has come to the surface. So we actually have a piece of the Earth's mantle that has come to the surface, and you can identify these rocks along the edge of Green Point, and that's pretty cool. Secret number 3 are the campgrounds. Now, a lot of people who live here in Anacortes don't necessarily go camping in the campgrounds right here in town. And I didn't either. Actually, I really didn't know about the campgrounds until a friend of mine was testing out some camping gear before they went further afield. There are 68 campsites here in Washington Park. About 47 of them have hookups, and the rest are for tent camping. And that's a pretty well-kept secret of Washington Park. The 4th secret of Washington Park are the trails. Again, I have brought hundreds of people to Washington Park just to show off our beautiful loop road, and never really paid attention to all of these trails. So I was pretty surprised to see the trail map of Washington Park. There are even a couple of YouTube videos of people hiking through Washington Park, or biking, as a matter of fact. Also, the Washington Trails Association, that is WTA.org, has some beautiful written descriptions of the different hikes to take through Washington Park. So don't miss that. Secret number 5 is not a secret at all. Actually, this is probably the most photographed tree in all of Anacortes. We're at the Burroughs Channel Lookout up here. And remember what I told you about the tide times to keep track? Here is a great example of the flow through this very narrow channel, as we're going today from a negative 1.7 to a positive 8.3 high tide in just a few hours. The 6th secret of Washington Park is there's actually a tomb here. This is, and I will read his name, Tanji Holocaust is buried here below this monument. According to the website, Past Imperfect, and I quote, "This view of the Holocaust monument was erected in 1913 over the grave of Tanjes Holocaust. It is of Vermont granite and stands 12 feet in height above the cement base and weighs 15 tons. And they had to put a special road in here just to bring the monument up from the bottom of the hill. Tanjes also built a hotel near this site, and the bay became a lumber mill in the 20s. And he, of course, passed away in 1912. So here he had this plan for this lovely little area with his beautiful hotel, and then it became a lumber mill. But now it is a beautiful area known as Skyline, and I did a video on Skyline a couple of weeks ago. Secret number 7 is when you pass the Holocaust Monument. On the left-hand side, you'll see what looks like maybe foundations of an old building. Well, those strange foundations are actually part of a water system that they put in to provide water to the lumber mill down below. There's, whenever I talk to people, nobody really knows what that's all about. So I did some digging and found out that that was a water storage unit. The Loop Road is a one-way drive-around road that is open from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. for walkers only, and then open to vehicle traffic at 10 a.m. and it closes at 10 p.m. All right, here we go with Island View. Island View is a neighborhood that was built specifically for the executives of the 2 refineries that were being built in the 50s here in Anacortes. Well, actually out at March's Point. This area, since it was built in the 50s, looks a little bit like the mid-century time period that it came from. These are mostly ramblers. Some of them are ramblers with daylight basements, and other ones are more split level, built into the hillsides. They have been remodeled, most of them, many times since the 1950s, and they remain very sought after with nice big yards and gardens. The next area that I'd like to talk about is Rockridge. Rockridge is way high up on the hill. They started building up the hillside in 1990, 98, 99, and just kept building up the hillside. And you will really notice how the styles have changed from the 90s to the 2000s, the 2010s, the 2020s. Here are some very recent houses and building sites that are still being developed. Here I have just a picture of what it really means to live on Rockridge. This is a lot that's not been made ready yet. The HOA for Rockridge is $200 a year, which is pretty awesome. They take care of the plantings in the boulevards and the signage, and they have a park. Rockridge is really known for the views, although there are areas of Rockridge that also back up to the forest lands. I really enjoyed driving around these neighborhoods today and the park on this beautiful sunny afternoon in Anacortes. Like I mentioned before, feel free to click on the link below and download my free Anacortes relocation guide if you're considering looking around Anacortes for your next move. Thank you for joining me, learning it from a local, because where you live is my business.